Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sobriety with Drake, the YouTube channel where we talk about all things addiction, recovery, and sobriety related. And for today's video, I'll be doing another episode of Intervention. Where are they now? And today, the person from Intervention we're going to be talking about is Linda. And before we get into the video about Linda, I want to make a quick disclaimer. In the comments in the last few videos I made about the Intervention Where Are They Now episodes, I've noticed a lot of hatred and negativity in the comments. So I just want to make a quick disclaimer to show these people that we're talking about some love and compassion. They've been through a really hard time. They're addicts. So show them just some love and compassion and try not to send hate towards them from these videos. Thank you. So in Linda's episode of Intervention, she was a fentanyl addict who used like fentanyl lollipops like up to 7 times a day. And the episode was very memorable for her very erratic, bizarre behavior. She First of all, she believes she suffered, and maybe she does, but she believes she suffered from EDS, which is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and it was a illness that she said caused her a lot of joint pain and suffering, and so she would react to things like electricity or people using their phone or running water and say that it would cause her pain, and she would scream, freak out when people would use their phone or like electricity would be near her. So that was why this episode is very memorable. Also, the intervention part of the episode was very memorable. She stormed out and screamed and ran away when she saw the people in the intervention, and then they had to follow her and do the intervention outside. So that was a very memorable part of this episode. Maybe people remember that of this episode. So at the end of the episode, they stated that Linda was diagnosed with a delusional disorder 2 months into treatment, and that she had been transferred to a residential care home and has not used fentanyl since the intervention. That was when the episode aired. So I'm going to talk about what's been going on since was said in the episode, and talk about where she is now. So when doing my research about Linda and what she's been up to since the show, a lot of things were unclear, like the fact that if she still uses or not. I was not able to find out if she's still using fentanyl or any other pain medication or any other drugs. It's unclear, so I can only speculate that she is still using, or that I can't even speculate that she's not still using. It's really unknown. But I will describe a lot of her behavior since the show. Since the show, she has been standing firm in her belief that she has EDS, and she actually created a Facebook networking group called EDS Worldwide, which has a bunch of people that suffer from EDS talk about their experiences on that Facebook group. And she's very active in that group and talks about it on her Facebook. So she is still believing that she is ill, which could be an indication that she's still using. Because I had a similar experience as her with thinking I had an illness during my use, and I'll talk about that at the end of the video and give you my thoughts on her and all that. But also, many people that have EDS have criticized her claims and thought that she was faking her disease since watching the show. And there's this popular intervention forum website called Intervention Directory, where a lot of people were saying that, oh, she's faking it. This is not real. She's not really sick with EDS. I have EDS, and this is not what it's like. She was running away and very active in the episode, so she can't have EDS. Which I've looked into EDS a little bit, and there are people who have mild cases of EDS who are able to be active and move around. Like, there's this person on Drag Race called Evie Ali, RuPaul's Drag Race, named Evie Ali, who won the show, and she had EDS, and she was able to like move around and do flips and splits and everything. So you can have EDS and still be mobile. But a lot of people on this website were criticizing Linda, saying she doesn't have EDS, and there were all these different accounts replying to these posts saying, oh, I do have EDS, and like that's not true. I'm really sick, and I'm not an addict, and or she's not an addict. They were saying like it as in they were talking about Linda, but it wasn't Linda herself. But a lot of people have been speculating that on these forums, Linda is going on as different aliases, sorry, and pretending to be someone else to reply to these comments and support her claims and stuff. So I don't know if it's really Linda on there making these replies, but a lot of people have speculated that it's her. And I did find Linda's Facebook and noticed a few posts of note that I'd like to go over. In November 2016, she stated in a Facebook post, she said that she had met Kathy Griffin, the comedian, and Kathy Griffin had recognized her from intervention. And Linda states in this post, she told her intervention would never talk to me because I refused to say I'm an addict, and she, Kathy, made a face in my favor. So that shows that Linda is not on good terms with the show. She does like believe that they showed her in an inaccurate light, that she's not an addict, that she was using the medication for her illness. So it shows that Linda is still in the state of possibly denial. I mean, I can't say if she really has this illness or not. It's totally like it's her experience. Like I can't say what she's experiencing. But it does seem like she's in denial, and that the episode she doesn't agree with how they showcased her her disease and her illness, and that she does not think she's an addict. And I think that's also pretty funny that she, met Kathy Griffin and Kathy Griffin recognized her. I know Linda is a pretty notable episode of the show, so it's funny that Kathy Griffin is a fan of the show. But it does also show that Linda's still in LA and that she's, frequenting a lot of places where celebrities are, so she's still active in that scene, but it's still unclear if she's using now. The next post, which indicates some bizarre behavior from Linda, was in December 2023. She made a post stating that she met Sonia Morgan from Real Housewives of New York City, and they had made out with each other on stage. And she shared this picture of them in the post. And so I just thought that was really bizarre. Like she talks about like bragging about how she made out with Sonia Morgan, and that like she claims that they like had this moment on stage. Which I don't know if that really happened, but it's just another bizarre post by Linda and shows like her behavior is still, kind of weird. But I mean, I don't think it's that weird. I mean, I've made out with random people all the time, but like not a celebrity. But so who knows if she actually did, but they did share a picture together. So I just thought that was interesting to point out. And the last thing is here's some pictures of Linda in 2024 of last year. So some pictures from the last year. And she does look a lot healthier and happier in these pictures. Like she obviously has her teeth fixed and she just looks a lot more serene and happy. So that could indicate that she is not using anymore. You never really know by looks though, but it does seem like she looks healthier and happier in these pictures. So overall, it really depends on your point of view if you think that Linda is still using. A lot of people would say she is because she still is um, in that claim that she has this disease that a lot of people think is delusion. But who knows? Maybe she is really suffering from this disease, and you never know. So that is my video on, on intervention. Where are they now with Linda? I wanted to share my story a little bit and how I relate to Linda and what I believe is going on. For me, I was a big meth user, and when I was using meth, I had this false belief that I was had this disease called Morgellons, which is a very controversial disease that a lot of people believe is fake and just delusional. But it's a disease that states that you have these fibers coming out of your skin, like you pull these fibers out of your skin, and they're burrowed deep in your skin, and they causes all these sores on your body, and it's very painful and uncomfortable. And I believed when I was using meth that I had this disorder. I would research it like crazy, and I would consume all this media about it, and it made me like believe that I really had this disorder. And I would have these crazy symptoms, like these scabs and stuff coming up on my body, and like I thought I would pull fibers from my skin, and so I had all these signs that were leaning me towards thinking I had this disease, and I was so convinced, like no one could tell me that I did not have this disease. Like I was convinced, and I would go to doctors, they would say you're crazy, and then I would just defend myself because I was experiencing these symptoms. Like I really thought these things were happening to me. It wasn't until I stopped using meth and got sober that the symptoms went away. And so I then realized like either this disease has something to do with meth use or drug use in general, or it was just delusional, like hallucinations, like tactile hallucinations and visual and auditory hallucinations that I was having due to the drug use that was making me believe I had this disease called Morgellons. So I think that's where I'm just saying from my personal experience, I think that's where Linda is at, which makes me think she is still using. But maybe, like, for me, it did last after I quit using. I still had a little bit of symptoms after. It took a while for my brain to recover completely. But I think that's where Linda is in her addiction and disease. Like, I don't believe she thinks she's an addict. I think she seriously believes that she has this illness, which I could totally relate to. I was convinced, like, when you're in the addiction, you're fully convinced of these things, and like they seem so real. And it's the drug that's causing you to have all these symptoms, but you don't realize it when you're going through it. You think the drug is helping you. So that's my opinion on Linda's situation, and I hope one day she like maybe finds out like what's really going on with her. Maybe it is this the whole time, and she's been right. Like we never know. So I just have love for her and support for her. I hope she's doing better. It does seem like she's doing better since the show, but she still, is out there online a little bit. Um, so yeah, that's my video on intervention where they now with Linda. I hope you enjoyed this video and you gained something interesting or entertainment from it. I also have my intervention where they now videos on Christy and Richard K, which you can check out on my channel. And I also do videos on other things about addiction, recovery, and sobriety. So check that out. Thanks for watching, and please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye, guys.